Hello, everybody. Oh, I tell you, I can't believe tonight is happening. This is the second time we're doing a virtual Christmas lights tour, and I know it's going to be better even this week. I'm just seeing all of you logging in now, and it's amazing seeing how many people are doing it. So let me know. First of all, hello. My name is Hazel, and my goodness, I've gotten excited. Hello. So I'm a London tour guide, and I run London guided walks, and we've got there are there's eight tour guides now. Can you believe it? We're growing each year, and this is my 5th year doing Christmas lights. But of course, it's a little bit different because I haven't need to got my bulky coat on. I'm here with my hot coffee. I hope you've got nice drinks as well, so you're all nice and comfy. And it's really lovely seeing you all today. First of all, I want to know where you all are from. So it's a little bit interactive, my Christmas lights. I want to get as much information from you as possible, and likewise. And so what I want you to do is text me, WhatsApp me where you are from. I can see from people's email addresses that we've got from France, from Australia, from the Philippines. Hello. I mean, can't believe what crazy time it must be for you. So let us know where you are from, because this is the silver lining of doing online tours, is that we're able to share the love of London, just not from the physical streets from London, but also, of course, across the world. So London has been all super sparkly. Normally, London is on steroids at Christmas. This year, I think they've decided to hold back a little bit. Maybe it's budget constraints. Also, they put up Christmas lights a lot later this year. I was getting a bit worried because normally we have our first Christmas lights the first week of December, and no one really had put them up. I was getting a bit worried. I was like, well, Christmas been cancelled and I've missed the memo, but no, they finally put them up. Okay, so who have we got here? We've got Claudine. She originally from France but living in Belgravia. Hello, welcome. We've also got who we got? Francoise. Oh, living in France and staying in France. Okay, don't blame you. Okay, better cheese there anyway. We have Richard and Susan and Kimberly. Hello. And you're in Ripon. Oh, hello. I haven't been to Ripon for a while. So that's in the UK. We have Marge and Derek from LA. Hello, lovely to see you all. Don't forget, if you're texting from abroad, then do WhatsApp. It's a lot easier, and of course, it's absolutely free. So keep sending those through. We have so many people still coming up with the tickers. Let's just have a little look at how many we got here. Do like to start on time, however. Okay. I'll keep going. All right. So also what I would like to do, here we go. Oh, here we got Helen, Tim and Roisin. Sorry. Thank you very much for the pronunciation description. And they're in Cambridge. Lovely. Went to university in Cambridge for happy years. Excellent. So lovely to see you all. So we're getting a nice mix of continentals. I apologize for Brexit already. And Brits. So don't be shy. Say hello. It's lovely to see you all. It's all kind of like, this is all new to everybody. And you might as well make the most of what you've got in life, haven't you? All right. So the other thing that I want you to do and make sure that you do is to ask questions and also do a shout out to friends and family that are joining. I know several families that can't physically get together are joining me on this tour tonight. So say hello to one another, text me, WhatsApp me, and I'll make sure that I do the shout outs if it's your birthday, for example, or you're just on your third gin and tonic and it's only 6:05. Do share the love. This is all, the more you give, the more you get back as well. So let me explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. So normally what I do is a 90-minute on the streets of London Christmas lights tour combined with a bit of history about the area. But of course, we can't really do that. And also, since we have all this wonderful technology, I thought, you know what, why don't I go bigger? And that's exactly what I've done this time. So instead of just doing a route, and don't get me wrong, we are going to do a route as well. So if you want to retrace our first steps, you'll be able to do that. And I also have a PDF of the link of the route. So I'll be able to email you that or text it you, however you've made your booking. And so you can do that in your own time. And most of the Christmas lights are going to be up until at least the end of December in the West End anyway. They're usually quite quick pulling them down because, of course, the sales and all the rest of it. Who else have we got? We've got Connor and Alice in Scotland. Hello. Scotland's a big place. Where in Scotland? Beautiful country, nonetheless. So lovely to have you with us. Thank you very much. Yeah, so what I decided to do is to split this into two. So first off, I'm going to show you the best of Christmas lights that London has to offer, and not just in central London, but across. We're going to Canary Wharf, we're going to Wembley, just to show you what we've got. So I've been busy running around trying to get those for you. And then after that, with a bit of themes of what's sort of like in vogue this year, the second half will be a physical tour on the streets, and that's where you'll be able to then follow the route that I will send you afterwards. So hopefully that sounds good, and that you have your mulled wine or your G&Ts or your orange squashes ready for a little bit of sparkle. So what I'm going to do is I need to share my screen. I'm going to keep this ticker up. So if you have questions throughout the tour, the physical tour should take 40 minutes. And then afterwards, I'll be able to do more shout outs and questions as well, and make sure that we get it all done as well. Okay, so let's this is always gets me nervous when I have to move screens, but let's do this. There we go, this one. It's getting right. All right, wish me luck, everybody. In an attempt to warm you up with Christmas sparkle, I thought I'd start with a few uber cute Christmas decorations that you can see on the streets in London, and they all are pink. First up, two beautiful matching doors in Chelsea. We're outside the former studio of artist Turner, and I love not only the colour, the matching colour of the wreath and the doors, but also how chunky these wreaths are as well. Moving to Belgravia, where we have Peggy Horsham Bakery. They do exquisite cakes, mainly weddings and celebrations, but they've really branched out as well. And every season they decorate the front of their bakery, and this is gorgeous. Pink nutcrackers and the gingerbread men, and then these fake pink flowers as well. Really means that anyone with an Instagram account is wanting to go and have a photo of them outside the door. So it's bringing people in, and it's making Belgravia a destination. And here in St Pancras, they've gone pink too, with 2020 Tree of Hope. by Ellen Cafe. They have a cafe in St Pancras, so that makes sense. They also got a brand new one opened in Carnaby Street. There's one on Park Lane. There's one in Blue Water. And so they've really expanded to this Instagram loving audience. And of course, if you can see the tree, then you might want to eat the cake as well. And so this is a mini bite-sized addition to the Tree of Hope cake. And this is an exclusive pink Christmas chocolate tree. And all of their cafes are selling it, where 10% of the sales will also be donated to Fair Share this Christmas. So it's giving back. Also, it's designed by an East London architect by the name of Holland Harvey, and he's incorporated 1,200 meters of ribbon that have messages of hope from NHS staff and COVID frontline workers. And I think that is a really nice touch, which could, on something that could have been argued to have been a little bit too commercial for this year. Next, we are at Millbank, continuing this pink theme, and here we are at the Tate Britain. Isn't this gorgeous? This installation is called Remembering a Brave New World, and it's done by the talented artist Chilia Kumari Singh Burman. And this is a combination of Hindu mythology, Bollywood imagery, colonial history, and also some personal memories of when the artist, Chilia, she went to Blackpool Illuminations, and also her family had an ice cream van. So that's all thrown in there for good measure. And I think this is one of those installations that it's nice to be able to get up and close and it's not behind barriers. But I think for me personally, it does work a lot better from a distance, where you get this sort of this splurge of colour and textures, which if you get up a little bit too closer, as you can see with this tiger, it's hard to work out really what it is. You need it to be a little bit further away. And that's great because you've got the opportunity to do that with Millbank. You've got the space. And now we move to Mayfair. And here we have Annabelle's, arguably one of the most elegant clubs in the world. And it's on Berkeley Square. And they never do their Christmas decorations by half. And this stunning display is inspired by the 1892 two-act ballet, so the Nutcracker, and it is beautiful, isn't it? Can you see features projections of the ballerinas, the Sugar Plum Fairy and the Prince, so they're actually moving, but I couldn't get a great video of the windows. And then of course, you've got these huge nutcrackers and the red baubles as well. I think it's really quite beautiful. But they also have an online Christmas shop called a Christmas Fair, where you can buy 4 napkin rings for £260, or a single glass Christmas tree bauble for £20. And here's Annabelle's from last year. And the Ivy do dress their restaurants up throughout the year. This is the Chelsea one, and I do think it's rather glorious. And of course, they've got a beautiful building to accentuate with, and you can see where the posts are. You're actually able to stand in and take photos. Then here we are in Paddington Basin. Multicoloured lights seem to be also a theme. Look at those. And this is Wembley. Psychedelic. And then this is Canary Wharf. They have a light festival, which is on until the end of January, completely free. So you can walk about the streets of Canary Wharf and picking up the beautiful lights that they have on offer. And if you come out of the main exit of Canary Wharf station, take a left, and then a left again. This is where you get to the lights of the water features, and then you can just follow it round. Whoa, how about this for in your face? This is the Churchill Arms pub on Church Lane, Kensington. It's isn't it glorious? I don't know if I like it or not, but it certainly is impressive. In the summer, they absolutely cover it with wonderful hanging baskets. They have won the Chelsea Flower Show as well. So it's a very unusual pub. They have a Thai restaurant up at the top. It's called Churchill Arms because Churchill's grandparents used to be regulars there. But I think it's rather impressive. And of course, people do like taking a photo of this one. It's so unusual. I mean, I can't even count the number of illuminated Christmas trees on there at all. But it does link this theme that we have with yellow, this warm yellow lighting. Some people think it's quite traditional, but look at this Christmas tree shape, and then using spheres and the rings to create something really quite beautiful. And this is in Victoria. And then here we are in Greenwich. This is where I live. And if you see the front mast is actually, they've added Christmas tree shaped lights on there as well. Let's get a bit closer for you. There we go. So simple but effective. Starry on the top, lovely. And then this is at Duke of York Square. I do like things which you can interact with. And of course, it was a bit too light to see the sparkle, but then you don't get to see the size and the scale of it really. But I do like being able to walk through things. And then walking through, I mean, you can't get really better than Leadenhall Market. This is a Victorian market built in the 1880s. You see the mini Christmas trees up at the top. This is a beautiful place to have a wander, especially at the weekend because it's a lot quieter. As you can see, this was taken in early December, this photo. Very few people around compared to what it like normally, non-COVID days. They have a big Christmas tree in the middle as well, and sometimes they have bands and that. But it really is quite beautiful. And there's been a market on this spot since the Romans founded London. So it's got a lot of history to offer. It just doesn't show it really, but it is a lovely place to sit out. That's a cheese shop there, and you can have nice wine while you're stuffing your face with fondue. And how about this for a perfect Christmas tree with warm white lights? It's too perfect, actually. It's completely fake. It doesn't even have a trunk. This is a cone built up with hoops, with fake foliage, but then they've absolutely covered it with this warm white light. A perfect visually Christmas tree against the neoclassical St. Paul's Cathedral in the city. And then another lovely Christmas tree filled with lights. And this is in Hayes Galleria on the South Bank, not too far from London Bridge Station. And what we're looking at, where that Christmas tree is, used to be where the ships would come in and have their cargo unloaded, and the cargo would then move into the warehouses on either side. So a very efficient way of getting everything out the ship as quickly as possible. And it's got lots of different little shops and eateries now. And here we are. So this is on the South Bank, not too far from the Hayes Galleria. They normally have a Christmas market, but not this year. And so they've decided to continue with the art installations, which is nice. And here it is lit up as well. So a nice walk down there. And then you're able to get to see the Tower of London and Tower Bridge and just really connect with London. And just to remind us, back in the 1950s, this is what we had. Not only did we have Christmas lights like this one in Trafalgar Square, but we also had huge amounts of smog where you couldn't really see the lights very well at all. And this is it, Trafalgar Square nowadays. You can see that the tree in the centre of Trafalgar Square is oddly displaying its lights. And apparently this is the traditional Norwegian way of dressing a tree with lights. But it's a shame because it doesn't really show off the size of the tree in particular. Now, why dressing it as a Norwegian tradition? Well, this is a gift from the people of Norway to the Brits as a thank you for all their assistance during World War II. And behind you, you've got the National Gallery and the National Portrait Gallery, all part of Trafalgar Square. And then if you veer right past the South African Embassy, then this is the famous Strand. You might know the song, Let's All Go Down the Strand. It was made famous in the 1930s, and this is it. It has the North Bank and the South Bank destination, where theatres and restaurants and pop-up places, and it's really uber cool. So it kind of makes sense that they're trying to emulate that. But a lot of Victorian, Edwardian buildings. It's got some very nice Art Deco buildings along this street as well. But it's absolutely packed with traffic. That's something that South Bank doesn't have because it's all pedestrianised. But it's a way of bringing, they're hoping to bring people here to see the lights. And as you can see from a little bit further away, they're actually huge baubles on a garland. And then here we are in Henrietta Street, which is just up from the Strand. And I do love these vertical lines of white lights. They really draw the light, the eyes down the street, make you want to explore. And that's exactly what they're wanting you to do. You want to feel safe with lights being around. You want to feel excited as well. And having the white lights, especially on the white buildings, I think it really adds a touch of class. And then King Street, who's parallel to Henrietta Street, this is kitted out exactly the same way as well. Lots of had some big names on the street. The biggest name, I suppose, is Jane Austen. She stayed at number 10, where her brother was when she visited him. And then when you have a little look around from Henrietta Street, ta-da! This is Covent Garden Piazza. So this was formed in the 1630s by a chap called Inigo Jones. And the only bit that we have left of Inigo Jones is the church. And you can see a little bit of it pointing out on the left there. But the lights around Covent Garden are always so exquisite, with the huge Christmas tree, absolutely filled with lights. And I think the red and the white is an unusual but very, very lovely combination, especially as you can see, we have the extra sparkle of the flashing lights. So just a little goes a long way. Look how huge that is. And you can have a Santa's grotto in the base of that tree, but they've decided not to this year. And have a look at that church. Isn't that beautiful? It's known as the Actors' Church. A lot of actors are either buried or have been remembered there. And looking across the piazza, where there are a lot of performing artists. And then going into Covent Garden Market itself, isn't this lovely? So this is an installation we've seen a few years now, but there's nothing wrong with that. If it ain't broken, then don't fix it. And it's called Meet Me Under the Mistletoe. And I do love this. I like the extra sparkle. I like the disco balls, that adding a little bit as well. And the production designer is the recently deceased because he's the set designer on the film Nanny McPhee, and he also did the set for ITV's Victoria, basically making Buckingham Palace out of an air hangar in Norfolk. So lots of places to eat and drink, and this is just outside Covent Garden, where businesses that are in Covent Garden have dressed a particular tree to reflect their brand and what Christmas means to them. And they have 100,000 P lights in the installation. So you can see how many lights would it needed just to fill that wreath. Really quite remarkable. And there's 40 mistletoe chandeliers in total, between 2.5 and 3.5 meters in size. So they're absolutely gigantic. And there's also 320 garlands decorating Covent Garden. Isn't it lovely? And then Lego has been at Covent Garden a few years now. A little bit different now. They've got computer screens in the Super Mario there, but you've got Santa Claus. Not quite sure why he's so small, but what they do have is a pop-up experience. You can book your free family tickets online, and you're able to then go through and have photos without having anybody else in the way of it. You won't believe how many times I just had to wait for little ones to get out of the way to take them. So here it is. This is the experience completely outdoors. You'll get to see a princess killing a dragon. You get to see really some quite exciting pieces. Oh, I think he looks rather dapper, don't you, with his tie and his bowler hat. You don't often see that anymore. And this very impressive dinosaur was actually taller than me. So plenty to see there. And then we're going up James Street. This is towards Covent Garden Station. Normally this, once again, is filled with performing artists and absolutely rammed with people. But with lockdown and all the rest of it, it is. And of course, it was 3 degrees when I was filming this as well. So the Nag's Head was opened in 1690, not that building, but similar one on that spot. The White Lion as well is a wonderful Victorian pub. And Floral Street here with this simple lighting does make you want to venture down. And then same on James Street, you've got this living wall, and they're very popular in London as well. And it just helps now that they're illuminated for Christmas. And then here we are at Seven Dials. Now, this is a really funky area, and lots of young professionals hang out here. Hey, I lived here for over 5 years. Lots of funky designer shops and cool eyebrow places and hairdressers and that kind of stuff. All old buildings from the warehouse days of when they were needed for Covent Garden Market. One of the things you can see every day in Covent Garden here is Neal's Yard, Water Clock and Shorts Gardens. So when Covent Garden Market moved to 9 Elms, where it is now in 1974, suddenly these warehouses and that were empty. Shops came in to give this area a new feel. And in 1982, Michael Loftus commissioned this water clock in order to attract people to his shop, which was selling home foods, and also it was a dairy and an apothecary. And it doesn't work anymore. However, I think with it being so dark and green and above your eye line, most people won't even know it's there, whether it was working or not anyway. But, you know, it shows you can try something different. And then pop-ups are really cool. So this is called Cucumber Alley, keeping in with the fruit and veg theme of Covent Garden Market. And that's through the other end. And they've got a really cool pop-up area for the latest trends of food. And you go down a little alleyway here and you enter Neal's Yard. I love how the colours are so bright on the window panes, for example, that you don't need very bright colours on the lights, the Christmas lights here. So this is where you can get your organic and your vegan food. And it's all rather smart. It was only sort of rediscovered in the 1980s. Before that, it was just rather derelict and unloved. So we're going to follow him now. When you look in more detail, it is Princess Diana. She is coming down in her rather sharp heels down to 2 boys, and when you have a look, it's Harry. With a commercial twist with Diana having her Harrods bag to a little bit of a political twist there. But you can also see in the pink writing, you can be as naughty as you want, just don't get caught. And that is what Prince William said was his favourite quote from what his mother taught him. And then here we are on Monmouth Street, very nice Hotel Chocolat restaurant here, and also Montplaisir, which is a lovely French restaurant. Lots of funky hotels and that round here. And here are the Seven Dials. I bet you were wondering why it was called Seven Dials, and here is the proof. So it was originally laid out in the 1690s by Member of Parliament Thomas Neal, and there were a series of triangles. You can see how the shape of the buildings round this mini roundabout, and that maximised the number of houses as rentals were charged per footage of frontage, not footage of floor space that we have now. And then just continuing down Monmouth Street, you can see the Georgian front of the shops before we go into a new shopping area. And so the ceiling is permanent, and they've added these little modern Christmas trees as round. So a few little pop-up restaurants and that kind of thing. But also they've got these lights in the installations of the walls, so it's lit up like this throughout the year. And then an extra bit of lighting with this ziggy-zagging, because it's right next to Floral Street. So the same lights wanting you to feel that you're in the same area. And then look at this. I love these things where you can just walk through. I had to wait an absolute age to take photos, and to get them without anybody in was tricky. But people just gravitate towards this one in particular because, of course, if you've got an Instagram account, then you've got to do it. And of course, it changes colour. So I've shown you the blue, the white, then it changes to a wonderful fuchsia as well. And as you walk through here, you get to where the lady in the red coat is. And this is Peterson's Nurseries. This is a nursery owned and run by Prince of Wales, Prince Charles. And why not benefit from having a London shop as well? So there's cool, really cool restaurants, but also shops in this new development. I love how a red hat goes with the red flowers. And of course we were on Floral Street, so it makes absolute sense. It didn't used to be called Floral Street, it used to be called Hart Lane because of the Hart pub. But it shows you how simple but effective some lights can be. You know, you've got beautiful architecture, lovely cobblestone, so why not make the most of the features that you have? Right, Leicester Court, just off Leicester Square. Here we have Wonder Woman. So there's been several new statues being put up in Leicester Square. I like this one because it's lit up. It's a shame that she's a little bit out of the way compared to the others. A lot of people miss her. And so here we got the Empire Theatre. Used to be a theatre and now is a cinema. And this is Leicester Square with the twinkling lights. And I like how the flashing lights make them look like, you know, they're sort of dripping. And there we have the statue, the only outdoor statue of Shakespeare that we have in London. And then who is it that we have here? Do you recognise him? Hey, it's Harry Potter. Now, Harry Potter was premiered here, had the all-world premieres here in Leicester Square, with the exception of the 8th. That was actually done in Trafalgar Square because Leicester Square was having a bit of a facelift at the time. But the theatre was still used for the actual premiere itself. It's just they didn't have the big party in the centre here. So we're looking to Piccadilly Circus, but we're just going to venture around Leicester Square. And here we have Mary Poppins with her iconic umbrella, her parrot. Beautiful, beautiful theatres around here. This is the Royal Opera Arcade. A lot of people forget about this one. Simple but effective. Beautiful windows to display artworks as well as shop merchandise. And then this here, we're on Waterloo Place. And this is the very bottom of Regent Street. And look at that. I like the copper. Just not quite sure that the star, the white blue star, goes with the yellow and the copper of the rest of the tree. And this is going up Regent Street. So this is what you're looking at. So you've got the tree, and then you've got these wonderful, wonderful angels. Now, these have the geometric bodies. There's different sizes for different streets, because all of these streets that have the angels on, they're managed by the Crown Estate. So Her Majesty doesn't have sort of the money herself. It's all wrapped up into trusts and estates. So when she passes away, the money doesn't get sort of divvied up. It's all kept together. And this is exactly what the estate does. And we're going straight down into Jermyn Street. Can you see that we've got more angels here? It's a smaller street, but it's really dedicated to shops for men, men's clothing in particular. And the Crown Estate owns over 50% of St. James's, which is the area that we're in now. And it's just recently gone and through a £500 million investment plan, sort of updating these buildings now. So they're actually usable, because of course modern standards meant that all of these needed to be updated. So beautiful sparkle. I think they're rather uplifting, these angels. And I like the sparkle of the skirts. So here they've got ribbons rather than the wider tails on there. This is St. James's Church. This is a Christopher Wren church. Usually have a great carol concert here, and then they light the lights, but not this year. Hopefully next year it'll be all sorted. So we're adding a little bit of sparkle on the tail. See how windy it is with the flags. And then here we have lots of different arcades. So this one is called the Prince's Arcade. It was opened in 1883 originally, then got rebuilt again in 1933. And then look at these wonderful shops. And here we have Fortnum and Mason. Yay! So Fortnum and Mason, a fantastic shop. If you haven't been in, this is where I get my tea from, but only when I have guests. And they also have from humble beginnings, really, from the early 1700s. Started off with the money was selling the leftover candles from Queen Anne. And he rented a part of a room in a greengrocer's from Mr. Mason, and so together they created the greengrocers Fortnum and Masons. Didn't start off in a big shop like this, and they grew there. It grew very popular, and they were also pioneers in what they were doing. They created the Scotch egg, for example, which was still is a boiled egg with traditionally pork sausage meat wrapped around that, then breadcrumbs and deep fried. And it's one of my favourite things to take when I'm out and about doing tours and I need a filling bit of lunch in between tours. And hopefully you can see that Fortnum Mason is actually using its own windows as doors on an advent calendar. And can you see that the 1, 2, 3, and 4 were lit up? That was the last time I took photos, but they'll continue throughout the month of December. And if you want to know a little bit more about Fortnum and Masons and indeed their Scotch eggs and their innovations, then you might enjoy my latest podcast episode, which you can find on our website, londonguidedwalks.co.uk/podcast. It's only 20 minutes, but it gives you a good insight to Fortnum and Mason, but also Berry Brothers and Rudd, which is round the corner, which is over. And this is Piccadilly Arcade, looking rather blingy. We're on Piccadilly, so you can see now, 2020 on Fortnum and Mason right there. And opposite Piccadilly Arcade is Burlington Arcade. This is beautiful. That might be my second favourite one. If you have an Instagram account, you also need to come here for your Christmas photos. You see the beautiful white Christmas roses with the red accent baubles as well. Moe is sponsoring this. Isn't it gorgeous? Open 9:30 till 7 p.m. every day apart from Sunday, and that's 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this is what it looks like without the Christmas decorations. I still think it looks fabulous. And then round the corner from there, we have Old Bond Street. And now we're entering Mayfair. I love this, that brilliant white and the peacock feather styles, gorgeous. And this is the Royal Arcade. So yet another little arcade. Beautiful orange and white Victorian detailing, and then understated gold decorations, matte and gloss, with the green garlands and some shiny gold ribbon bows. So I think that's rather beautiful, nice and effective, not too ostentatious. Just right, I think. And then Old Bond Street from the other end, just right where the Royal Arcade is. And Stella McCartney normally does a full-blown neon lights display on the building, but this time it's just a little one. And then, as you can see, things get a little bit crazy further on down. So let's have a look at what's going on. So I've crossed the road now and can see Tiffany illuminated quite beautifully. Showed you a photo of that earlier. And then we have, here we go, Boodles, Cartier, clashing, I think, really. It's like brands really competing for the attention. Just another still of Stella McCartney. Look how beautiful that is. So Elizabeth Fink is the artist here who did this statue. And it kind of gets lost with all the sparkle that's surrounding it. You might be familiar with Paternoster Square, where the shepherd is. She also did that one. So Boodles with the bright white, I think, goes beautifully with the peacock white. Cartier, not quite sure. They have incorporated the white into the decoration, so maybe it's not as bad as I'm making out. But I think it's the yellow, the warm yellow of the bulbs around the foliage that sort of is a little bit out of place. And this might be the largest parcel that you see today. And I couldn't really get a good video of the Bulgaria one, but actually that necklace sparkles like nothing else I'd seen, really. And it's huge on scale. So beautiful shop frontages with each shop having their own individual style. Dior, ignoring Christmas. And we're now in New Bond Street. So here's Chanel. They did a lovely one last year where the same shapes, but there were more of them up on the walls of the shop. So they've sort of reduced it. And then taking a left, we get to Lancaster Court, which is just lovely. So many people don't know about this place. It's normally absolutely ram-packed with people sitting outside and eating. But of course, with lockdown, a lot of businesses have chosen not to open as yet. And then we have wonderful Hush, a really great place for drinks here, outdoors and indoors. And you're able to bring your little dog if you have one. And this is at the end of that small, narrow alleyway. New for 2020 are these fantastic blue trees that accompany the blue arches that we're getting here on South Molton Street. Look at these. I mean, they cannot help but bring a smile to your face. And on South Molton Street, you've got little narrow alleyways with street art, and you know, it's a really interesting place to look at in detail. Lots of funky shops here as well. This is where I'd get my second-hand ball gowns from. Down here as well. I mean, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And this is it, you know, you've got people taking photos all the time. You can't walk through and not smile. And at the other end of South Molton Street is Oxford Street. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit underwhelmed by these ones. I think it's really clever being able to add messages into the LEDs. However, with Oxford Street being so well lit anyway, maybe it's just not as impactful as the designers had hoped. Great like this when you take a photo with be able to perk it up a little bit, but when you're actually looking in real life, then they're not so fantastic as I had hoped that they would be. Here we are, Regent Street, upper and lower, and these are the biggest angels that we have in London, and I think they're fantastic. And it was Regent Street that was the first street to be, their shops to be illuminated by electric lighting, and before that it was gas lighting. And then it was also the first street to have Christmas decorations in 1950s. And here we have Liberty. The shop is actually made out of 2 Victorian ships. That's where all the woods come from. And last year they had 22 Christmas trees on the front of Liberty. So they've scaled it down this year. But quite beautiful. And then, of course, here we are on Carnaby Street. So this is all part of Love and Hope for a charity for refugees, keeping the branding of the pink and the purple. And what they've done is each of the side streets also has the pink and purple light to it, which I think is a really great way of zoning an area when you want to identify where you are, also wanting to know what kind of shops are there. Well, maybe you feel a little bit bolder walking down if it's well lit. And this is where you get loads of lovely pubs, including the Shakespeare's Head that I showed you before with their Christmas decorations. And then also there's a really cool area for food called Kingley Court just down the way. Now, these were some of the lights for Carnaby Street a couple of years ago, actually, and they were so popular they put them on one of the side streets. But I think they're really effective, and I do love seeing all these Georgian buildings still being used as shops, which is how they were designed in the first place, and people then living upstairs. And I bet that's the largest 3-prong plug you will have ever seen. So we have permanent art installations as well. This one is by Julian Opie. It's called Shader Walking, and it's from 2015. And that's all she does. Walks all day, doesn't lose any calories. And then next to her, we've also got the Soho mural. And Mozart, Karl Marx, and Hogarth. And then here is Kingley Street, the other side of Kingley Court. And this runs parallel to Carnaby Street, in between Carnaby Street and Regent Street. And then we end on Regent Street lights. Aren't these absolutely gorgeous? These are the largest of the angels, and I do like the tail in a full effect here as well. They really do fill the space quite beautifully and are very uplifting. Look at that. Beautiful. How about that? A full selection of Christmas lights for 2020, the first year we've been offering from virtual tours. And it's a big thank you from me to you for joining us on tonight's tour. I really do appreciate the support, and I really hope that you enjoyed the sparkle. All righty. So I've got some shout outs as well, but don't forget to send me any more that you've got. So let's have a little look. Okay, so I haven't forgotten you if I hadn't mentioned you. There's a lot to get to. So we'd like to say hi to Tom, Penny and Constance in Sussex, and Connor and Alice in Cooper. Looking forward to catching up soon. Lots of love from the Jacksons in Cambridge. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, who else have we got? Your touring combination with a perfect tea time, perfect match. Thank you very much. Whoever has shared a picture of your afternoon tea. You're getting me hungry now. My goodness, that looks delicious. Thank you for that one. Hello from sunny Carolina. Hope you enjoyed the sparkle. It's Christopher, Laura, Cami, Carrie, Dane, and Ramsey all watching from the US of A. So lovely to see you all. Thanks very much. Now, do we have any questions as well? I think you've all been rather quiet on the questions front today. I was gearing up to be inundated. Let's have a look. Nothing as yet. Okay. Just wait, just in case you made your mind up. So I don't know about your favourite Christmas lights, but I think mine from this year are no Christmas markets. No, none in Leicester Square, none in Trafalgar Square, which is why it looks a little bit dead. None on the South Bank. I mean, how are you going to spend your money? Yeah, I was even around Carnaby Street and that again today. And the food pop-up stalls are there because it's huge markup on food. And they're absolutely buzzing. No social distancing whatsoever. It's all the youngsters, isn't it? But no markets, no craft fairs. The craft fairs that we've had in Greenwich mainly have been virtual ones, which has been a little bit of a shame because I like to see, the handmade goods. I don't want to have to wait for postage and, waiting for the post and that. So that's a little bit of a shame. So yes, remember I mentioned about Annabelle's. They do a market, Christmas market or Christmas fair every year where all these posh people come and buy homemade goods and homemade baby seal slippers and all the rest of it, but not even this year. It's and that's a private members club where they can certainly control the number of people in their building. They're doing it all virtual, so it's lost a little bit sparkle because, as you can remember from the Christmas market in Leicester Square, they added all the lights as well and the nice smell of mulled wine. So that's why I say, usually at Christmas, London is on steroids, but this time it's a little bit more subdued. But that also does mean that maybe it's a better opportunity to have a look at the lights in themselves rather than just focusing on the shopping or having to at least carry the shopping around with you at the same time. So have we got any more questions? Hello from Mark. Hello. I see. That's all in and texting and all on WhatsApp. That's it. Lovely. So yeah, so my favourite Christmas decorations, I think, for this year continue to be the South Molton Street ones because you can walk through them and they change as you walk through them, not change color or anything, but the angles and the brightness and that. And also I still get when I see a whole sort of line of these arches to walk under. I do enjoy that. I think also the Carnaby, the Canary Wharf lights are very nice. So for several years now, they've been doing a Winter Lights Festival. And it's on until the 31st of January, and it's completely free. It's all toned down at the moment because obviously COVID, and it's been building its success year on year. But it's nice just to be able to walk around an area that isn't really densely populated with, normal us plebs. It's normally office workers whizzing by in and out of the tube to their office. So in the evenings and especially at weekends, it takes a life on its own. So if you have to choose where you want to go, maybe those lights would be preferred because there's fewer people. You can take better photos, you can take your time, and you're not having to worry about coming into too close a contact with anyone else. And also they have a private policing company there as well, so it's all extra safe. So any other questions? We've got 7 minutes. I was expecting, last week the amount of questions and the amount of time that we had didn't marry up. So I whizzed through the tour to try and help you with all the questions, and maybe I did too good a job. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Missouri. Hello from St. Louis in Missouri. Excellent. I don't think we've had anybody from St. Louis before, so that's excellent. I'll be able to tick you off. I really should have a global map and tick all the areas off that people have been coming. It's amazing to see how many people are really embracing this new technology and sort of getting on board and exploring and creating a new type of tourism and travel. So no Christmas market this year, Leicester Square. No, unfortunately not. It's a big shame. Any other questions? Don't miss this opportunity. At the end of the tour, I will send you a PDF of the route. So you can, the route that we actually physically walked, rather than, well, you followed me as I physically walked it, starting in Trafalgar Square and ending just on Regent Street. So I will send you that if you want to repeat that again yourself, and also check us out on Instagram and Facebook, where I've been posting a lot of the photos that I've been exploring as well. Each day there's something new. Today's has been hot chocolate, Nutella hot chocolate. I mean, I can't think of anything more divine personally. Alrighty, so I think all there is for me to say now is thank you everybody for joining us today. I haven't got the final numbers on let's have a look. Final numbers on how many. 190 of you. My goodness. I really can't believe it. That's I think that's a record. So thank you very much. Don't forget, you can email me if you've forgotten one of the street names, or if you want to continue this conversation on Christmas lights. It's always lovely to see you. We are going to start a series of virtual tours for 2021, which includes the first one in January, which is London street art. So a bit like we've done today, we do street art across London, and then we do a specific walk, which is what I offer anyway, on the ground for street art in Shoreditch. So we get the combination of the two, and that will also be an hour long as well. And I'll send you details once they're up on the website. So thank you very much for everyone joining me today. I hope you have a very happy and healthy Christmas and New Year. And let's hope 2021 is a year better than this. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.